let's go ahead and shift the focus now. Across the sports complex we go to TIAA Bank Field, which for the first time since 2012 will experience a full slate of home games. That means at least 8 games to watch the Jags, 10 if you count the preseason. The Jags will host weeks 3 and 4 of that preseason schedule, the most and least important games before they count. It is no secret the internet loves cat videos. The Jags digital team using a variety of classic feline antics to unveil the 2020 schedule on Thursday night. I watched a few of the different teams from across the league. I can say the Jags had the best one in the entire NFL. All to give fans a look at this. Obviously, we knew the opponents for a few months now, but for fans, they get a chance to know the season is going to start at home against the Colts, and it's going to end on the road against the Colts. In between, some notable games, including a Thursday nighter against the Miami Dolphins. That one coming up in week 3. Lots of interesting early season games. You got Joe Burrow and the Bengals. The Lions should be able to beat the Lions, right? That's what they're thinking in Detroit as well. After that week 7 bye, the Jags will head west to Los Angeles in their sparkling new stadium. That, by the way, the same weekend as Florida, Georgia, back here in Jacksonville. The second half features some potential cold weather games. How about Green Bay? Ooh, in mid-November. And then you got Baltimore way later in the season in week 15. That one's in December. So some potentially chilly games for Jags players and photographers on the sidelines, like myself. Doug Marrone took a look at the schedule, but he looks at it a little differently than the rest of us. His priorities are clearly different.
Where's the bye week? I look at that first, and then I look at, the opponents in the beginning of the year, so this way, because that's gonna be put in your prep time from now till, when the season comes, working on those opponents. More importantly, I try to look at the other teams that we're playing to see what they're doing the week before.
All right, so the schedule is out. I'm personally most looking forward to that game at Lambeau, even if it's cold. That is a once in every 8-year road trip, so I'm going to be sure to pounce on that one in the road trip draft later on this summer. Let's go ahead and see what the fans of the Jacksonville Jaguars think about this schedule, starting with Tommy Boy going, best part, no Thursday night Titan fight. That's true. It seems like every single year it's the Titans and the Jaguars on Thursday night. How about No Toes Down, saying first 8 games gives the Jags a chance to build some real momentum. He's not wrong. If you look at that full schedule and see some of those games, Dolphins in there, Bengals, mentioned the Lions as well. How about the First Coast Bubbler? Better bring a good coat mid-November in northeast Wisconsin. Can certainly be iffy. Yeah, we're looking forward to nice cold weather. Tim Sullivan, only one 1 p.m. home game from the start until mid-October. Hooked up. You might remember last year the TV truck broke for CBS because it was so hot in that 1 o'clock game against Kansas City. Well, only the opener against the Indianapolis Colts will be at 1 o'clock in that first stretch of the schedule. Of course, that Thursday night game, that one is nighttime because it's a Thursday night game. Nighttime. Anyhow, we'll end with this one from Casey. You wait, December 13th game, going to get the flex to Sunday night. Hey, there's some optimism out there. That's what happens at this point in the year. In week number 12, the Jaguars will play host to the Cleveland Browns. At least one Jags player undoubtedly has that one circled on the schedule. That'd be former Browns linebacker Joe Schobert, signed with the Jags this offseason. Jacksonville and Cleveland, 2 very different places. Just one of the things Schobert is prepping for as he makes the trek down to Northeast Florida.
Coming from here, like I said, it's a high 48 today. It's going to be an acclimation period. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting in the heat, but mostly I like the heat for December and January. The summer months are going to be a little brutal, but I'm hoping to get down and get acclimated before that all starts.
Yeah, it is a little better that time of year. Who did you look up to, model your game at maybe from the linebacking position, maybe when you were younger, going through college, or even in the early stages of the NFL?
Yeah, when I was younger, growing up in Wisconsin, Clay Matthews was, I was playing outside linebacker. He was a guy I liked to watch. And then Von Miller when I got to college. And then when I transitioned to be an inside linebacker, I liked watching Bobby Wagner and Luke Kuechly. My position coach, or my head coach in college, Gary Anderson, coached Bobby Wagner at Utah State. So I got some behind-the-scenes stories about him in college and growing through the NFL. And then Luke Kuechly is one of the guys who, as a student of the game kind of person, you always want to watch and emulate. And then he does a lot of great things on the field just with his knowledge of other teams' offenses and stuff.
Have you done work like in terms of film on a guy like Myles Jack or other players on this defense and specifically about Miles. How gifted is he, in your opinion, in this move for him? How much will it benefit him?
Yeah, I mean, I came in same time as Miles Jack, and I remember in college watching UCLA stuff when he was playing running back and linebacker, running all over the field, making plays all the time. And then I think that the 2017 championship game against the Patriots, if you watch that game, you just see the talent he possesses, how fluid he is as an athlete, and how sudden he can be, and explosive. And just having, like, my goal for me coming in here is just take things off of the plate, be able to set the defenses, make the calls, make the checks and the adjustments, and let Miles just go be an athlete out there and wreck the game, which he has the ability to do when he doesn't have to be caught up in trying to get other people to get lined up, and be responsible for doing all that communication.
More great Jaguars coverage by our partners, Jaguars.com, including a piece on new backup QB Mike Glennon. Go click on over to the interwebs after our show tonight.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.